Welcome back. In the previous video, we looked at the absolute basics of React Router, how to set up the React Router, defining route, using the link, and navigating between pages. Today, we're going a little bit deeper, but sticking to the essentials. We're going to look at dynamic routing and URL parameters. So, what are dynamic routes? So far, our routes have been static, which would be slash or slash about, slash contact, and so on. But in real world applications, these are not static. If we have a list of products, product 1, product 2, product 3, etc., we don't want to create different routes for individual products. I don't want to create a different route for slash 1, slash 2, slash 3, and also point to different components altogether. So instead, what we do is use dynamic URL so that it will match any URL which adheres to this format. So product slash ID. So this ID is the dynamic parameter, and that path we can get later on. The ID path is a placeholder. The dynamic ID looks like this. What happens after this ID? What can we do with this? So this ID can be passed as a parameter, and then in the component in which it is rendered, you can access it there. We have an example of a dynamic route over here. Don't worry about this loader right now, we will discuss it later on. First of all, this path is team slash team ID. So any path resembling this team slash whatever would be matched by this particular path, and the component of team would be given to it. So the team component would be rendered. But how do we access the team ID? For that, we have use params from React Router. We import the use params, and using this params, we call the use params. So in here, since we had gotten the team ID, we can get the team ID using params.teamID. We can also have multiple dynamic segments in one route. So as you can see, in here we have C slash category ID slash P slash product ID. So we have two dynamic segments over here, and both can be accessed using the params in the rendered component. We also have query parameters. These query parameters are not really part of the URL. Instead, they give certain additional information to it. They are extremely useful for pagination and filtering. In here, you can see in the slash products, we have page equal to 2. So this indicates a second page has been opened and the sorting order is in ascending. So now how do we access this params? Again, we have another hook for that. We have the use search param, and with use search params, we can get the page as well as the sort. And that's about it for dynamic routing. So to recap what we learned what dynamic routes are, how to use params to read values. We also looked at query parameters using use search params, and we looked at the simplest form of using a dynamic route. These patterns cover almost everything you need for a real world routing. In the next session, we will look at how to use all these concepts and also integrate with the navigation guard. All right, see you there.